Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. Bollywood actor Richa Chadha today made a derogatory tweet against the Galwan martyrs who died in June 2020. Now, these brave men died fighting against blatant Chinese transgression. They fought and died for the security and for the honor of our nation. Her tweet mocked their supreme sacrifice. This was in response to the Northern Army commander saying that they are ready to take back Pakistan-occupied Kashmir if orders come to that effect. Whatever problems, whatever differences, whatever criticisms you may have against a government, a political party, a prime minister, or even the army for that matter, should you not have the basic courtesy and the basic decency to keep martyred soldiers out of that? Even if Richa Chadha has now deleted her tweet and she has apologized and said how there were members in her family who were also part of the armed forces, does it cut it? Because she did cross a red line in our civil discourse, and that is, we do not insult people who have died for this great nation.
Galwan says hi. These three words, enough to spark a massive controversy. Actor Richa Chadha faced severe backlash after she tweeted these three words. Richa Chadha had quote-tweeted on a statement made by Northern Army Commander-in-Chief Upendra Dwivedi on how confident they were to take the POK back from Pakistan. Actor Akshay Kumar has also now jumped into the controversy and condemned the tweet by Chadha. He tweeted that he was hurt by the tweet and nothing should make us ungrateful towards our armed forces. The BJP were quick to react on the issue as well. The Saffron Party attacked Richa Chadha and made a call to boycott her movies at the box office.
फिल्म जगत की अभिनेत्री सुर्खियों में आने के लिए, ओछी पब्लिसिटी पाने के लिए क्या वो हमारे फौजी भाइयों का अपमान करेगी?
Filmmaker Ashok Pandit filed a complaint against Richa at the Juhu police station in Mumbai and demanded stern action against her.
I, as a citizen of this country, felt very hurt with this obnoxious anti-national statement of actress Richa Chadha. I strongly condemn it, and that's why I thought as a citizen I should make a police complaint against her. I have appealed to the police that an FIR should be filed against her and lawfully action should be taken against her.
Very appropriate, I feel.
But the Congress party defended Richa. The Grand Old Party believes Richa actually reminded the government about what the real situation is.
Very apt comments he has put.
Richa Chadha later apologized and deleted it. This was enough to douse the fire that had already lit up. The question which arises now is, did Richa Chadha tweet just for the sake of provocation?
Bringing our guest, Dr. K. Pillai, our Army Research Fellow, Nasir Abdullah, actor, and Ravi Rai, film director, joining us. Colonel Pillai, I said this at the top of the show. You can criticize government, you can criticize Prime Minister, policies, you can criticize there's nothing wrong with it. But say government says hi in a derogatory way, insulting the supreme sacrifice of those who died in Galwan, fighting against the blatant transgression attempts of the Chinese, that is a red line that no one should cross in this country. Has Richa Chadha crossed that red line?
No, definitely there is kind of a mock that the tweet wasn't definitely a moral reminder or wasn't intended to kind of raise a consciousness. It was something on what the army commander had said about that we are ready for the armed forces of India. Always the jaws of certain defeat, whether it is in 1947, 48, or even in 62. And in fact, we've ceded away large parts of our territory to China silently in the early days. At the night comes, and we must be reminded constantly that these territories are released to India in 1947 on the 27th of October. So the fact is that this tweet was definitely not a reminder, like Mr. Udit Raj had just now said, that it is, I think it is in bad taste.
Yeah.
And it is also mocking our capacities and capabilities of the armed forces to do And something that the armed forces has never let down is this country is that it has never lost a war for this country. It has upheld the finest traditions. We are celebrating the 50th anniversary. In fact, I just returned from a battalion where, against all odds, we've created a new country in Bangladesh, a free country.
Yeah.
We've been an example to the rest of the world in the manner in which we've actually responded to humanitarian crisis in Bangladesh, or whether it's the way we've responded. So to say Galwan says hi was an extremely bad taste, and it is something that I think her PR managers told her, because I frankly don't even know who Richa Chadha is. But now definitely, since it's going around, I try to find out who she is. And there is negative publicity is also good publicity for her. Immediately you get divided into two camps, and then you are there, you are now in the forefront. And you see that in ad campaigns also, where, people kind of provocate the silent people to react by taking something which are definitely sensitive.
No, while I buy to some extent the argument of negative publicity is also good publicity in that sense, especially if you're in Bollywood, in entertainment, and if you're not an A-lister, you need to do these gimmicky things to stay relevant. But there's a line, Nasir Abdullah, between being gimmicky and being downright abusive or insulting. And I think her tweet, when she says, tongue firmly in cheek, Galwan says hi, that was insulting. That was repulsive. And just an apology saying, oh, by the way, I'm sorry for what I said, just doesn't cut it, because like I said, there is a red line that she has crossed, and that red line is you do not insult people who have died for this country.
Okay. So here's the deal. It was an unnecessary, irresponsible statement made in a light moment at best, but it was absolutely unnecessary. And she obviously thought in her head something about this, the possible attack, that we can take back the POK, which is true. Within a week, he was right to say that, the army head. But somewhere, I think in a light moment, she thought, oh, it'll lead to that. So she saw somewhere the consequences of a possible attack to take back the POK, and she, that's my opinion, in a light-hearted moment, she almost joked about it, which again, irresponsible in my opinion.
Light-hearted about?
Don't think she has any intention.
About mocking,
I don't think. No, I know.
Mocking soldiers who've died for this country.
She was not mocking. No.
You don't think that tweet was mocking?
Did she say that? No. Hang on. You are going on giving me a lecture. You don't allow me to speak, you guys.
I'm asking you a question now, sir. Cool down. Why are you getting all?
Yes, I am answering. Don't analyze what is happening to me. So here's the deal. Are you sure that is actually mocking? She said it in a light moment.
You tell me. I mean, this tweet is there in front of you. Galwan says hi.
I'll tell you.
She's quote-tweeting what the army commander of the Northern Command said, that we're ready if orders come, so we are ready to attack POK.
Absolutely.
And she says, Galwan says hi. And you don't think that's mocking? You don't think that's mocking, Nasir?
I know, yeah. But it is being interpreted as a mocking, but she made light of it that this might lead to that. She was looking at the consequences. Maybe what we need to do is to ask her maybe. Also, Kangana Ranaut many years ago said that Bombay is POK. Now, that was a highly irresponsible statement. Okay. She also said once upon a time we didn't get independence in 1947. That was a charity. We got independence in 2014. Irresponsible statement, said in a light moment maybe. It was not taken very seriously, but this is being also taken very. I agree.
No,
I think.
Look. Once
again,
hang on.
But people are getting very offended about it.
The issue is, like I said, you can crack a joke, you can criticize a government or a politician or even a prime minister.
Yeah.
Even the army. I don't think any institution in this country, the Supreme Court included, you are free to criticize. That's why we are a democracy.
Yeah.
But. My problem is, Ratan Sharda, when you drag in people who have given their lives for this country, protecting the sovereignty of this country, and say it in a mocking way. I'm absolutely clear in my mind. She said it tongue firmly in cheek. She was trying to make fun of what the Northern Army commander was saying, right? You cannot do that. You cannot do that. Sorry, Nasser. You cannot do that with people who have died for this country. It's as simple as that. It's a red line. You don't cross that red line. Ratan Sharda.
Well, Galwan, Zakka, we are safe because our people die for us. We remember that. When you talk of Galwan, you remind a very painful episode when our Jawans were hit by barbed wire, hatchets, and how they died. And despite being attacked unarmed, they were able to kill more Chinese soldiers. It's a very sad episode. We should not make light of it. Point one. Point two is wokeism is a malaise world over. In the name of flippant irreverence, you end up disrespecting every kind of institution, every kind of people without realizing. If tomorrow I were to mock your or my own, martyred father or somebody who had died a natural death, how would you feel? So this wokeism is the problem. This veneer of intelligence is so thin that an actor goes to see a march and somebody asks why are there? You say, oh, everybody's together. कुछ तो अच्छा बोल रहे होंगे, कुछ तो अच्छा कर रहे होंगे. This is the level of intelligence. When you say I stand with टुकड़े टुकड़े भारत तेरे टुकड़े होंगे इंशाल्लाह इंशाल्लाह without betting an eyelid, you realize the wokeism is sickness. From where it comes from? It comes from pernicious New Left theory, which in the name of cultural study was a launching pad for JNU, all kind of New Left, very highly anarchic people who don't believe in family, who don't believe in society, who don't believe in state, nor believe in nation. So for them, it has to be perfect individual freedom. Either you are living in a utopia, or you are living in a jungle. So in a jungle, we don't listen to society. How is no respect. This started movement. It was disrespecting people, irreverence to people, irreverence to the people is part of their body politics. The part of
No,
they.
Ravi Rai, the problem is.
Just a moment, Zaka. One
Yeah.
point. A young girl says, "मेरे पिता को पाकिस्तान ने नहीं मारा, मेरे पिता को एक बंदूक ने मारा, एक गन ने मारा." You understand the malaise. You understand the unthought for stupidity that pierces you in the name of wokeism, which is basically outcome of the New Left philosophy.
Okay, Ravi Rai, the issue is even in, let's say, liberal democracies, if people like Richa Chadha want to hold US or UK or other countries, Western democracies as beacons of this thing. The point is, even in the US, yes, you are free to criticize. People have been criticizing America's decision to invade Vietnam and Iraq and Afghanistan, but never will you hear, whether you're on the right or the left or upward, never hear people criticize soldiers back in body bags. You never ever hear that. Even the disastrous thing that happened leaving Afghanistan last year. The soldiers who came back in body bags were never ever criticized. That is the whole point. That Richa Chadha, by doing that, by saying Galwan says hi in the mock that tweeted, she has insulted people who have died for this country, and I keep going back to it. That is a red line you don't cross. You're free to criticize the army in this country. I don't think, like I said, any institution in this country is above criticism. Supreme Court is not above criticism. Central government is not above criticism. Prime Minister, President, none of them are above criticism. That's why we are a democracy. But to insult people who have given the supreme sacrifice, those soldiers needn't have died. They needn't have become soldiers. They did so because some among us have that selflessness about them. And that's why they became soldiers. That's why they, without batting an eyelid, were willing to die for the country. And Richa Chadha has insulted that.
You see, Zaka, first of all, what is so shocking about her tweet? Tell me one thing. There is nothing very shocking about her tweet. Post 2014, there is a breed. There is a breed that tweets and talks against India and the Modi, the government, So it is not the first time that this is a tweet that we have been. I mean, when you say that Wagah border is the biggest circus in the country, and when the Kathua case happened, I mean, all of them were holding placards and saying, "I'm ashamed to be a Hindu." The point is India, Hindu, I mean, why are you inflicting so much of pain? And today, Zaka, if you hold any of those girls who were holding the placards and just ask them, Ki Behenji, what happened? What is the status of Kathua today? They know nothing about it. They know zilch about it. They would say Galwan says hi, but they would never ever talk about Akshay Chin. They would never ever talk about Doklam. If you ask her what is Galwan, what happened in Galwan, they don't know what happened in Galwan. How many soldiers did we kill? They know nothing about it. But the point is, it is unbearable now. It is becoming statements like, oh, so what is so great about the army? We pay them. It's their duty to protect. I mean, these statements, post 2004, this is a breed like Zaka. You have those zoological names and, biological names given to those breeds. Mm-hmm. So this is a breed. And it has unfortunately, they are helpless. Unfortunately, they can do nothing.
Do you buy this theory, Ravi Rai? Do you buy this theory that for Bollywood actors, especially, and if you're not an A-lister, and really not an A-lister, then any publicity is good publicity. People, the whole country is today talking about. Do you buy that argument?
Zaka, I tell you, not 2 times. India has changed. You've seen the culture, even if you're not a superstar, Amir Khan, new India doesn't forgive or doesn't this. So India is reacting to Bollywood very strongly, very, very strongly. The moment you say why the South is doing very good, one of the reasons South is doing very good, you will never ever hear anything against India. You can hate Modi. Like you said, nobody is above criticism. You can hate Modi. You can outvote him. But you hate India. You've started hating India. They are connecting cricket match also to Modi. They are connecting hockey match also to Modi.
No, so Nasser, can I ask you this? That at the end of the day, I think there is because of social media, like Ravi Rai said, even the big stars, you can't afford to sit in your ivory towers and say what you feel like, or comment and criticize whoever and whatever you feel like, because what's happening now is social media is pushing back and saying that's unacceptable. Look at point. He says the citizens become so in this country that numerous times they want to leave this country. Well, go ahead, right? It's a free country. You can choose to live here. You can choose to not live here. Go to another country. I'm sure he's rich to another country, but to be here and to live in, that's what people are revolt against elitism.
Okay, I got it. So here's the deal. I can't for the life of me imagine Richa or anybody else saying something derogatory about India, and I will give you the proof immediately. She never said that. All she said was the situation may be up that. That's it. I agree it was wrong. She shouldn't have said that because it is giving us a feeling that we have a big problem doing it.
No. Answer the last question about. No. The major question about how people through social media
calling the
are hitting back against elitism in Bollywood. Answer the question, please.
I don't know about elitism. I don't know. All I know is that you are picking a lot of and making insulting the martyrs. She never said that. You are creating words. I agree she was wrong. She shouldn't have said that. It was unnecessary. But she didn't say that it was a useless thing. These army guys are useless. What the hell are you doing?
What do you think? What do you think she was trying to say? What do you think she meant? What do you think she meant? But says,
I tell you, don't be long like a lecture about what she said. This is what I think, and I will repeat it. She had a thought about the possible, the consequence about invading them to take back POK. Full stop. She had no intention to insult the martyrs, our soldiers, our army, our nation.
So let me get this right. Nasser, give me 10 seconds. You've spoken for a long time. Colonel Pillai, please weigh in.
Oh, really?
Nasser is saying Richa was thinking of the possible consequences in the Indian army of the launch of attacking the trying to the those consequences. I mean, I'm sorry, it's laughable to me because that's the job day in, day out, year after year. They are prepared. They are prepared to game out war scenarios, to game out such war scenarios. And if you need a Bollywood actor to quote unquote, to quote Nasser Abdullah, warn them of the consequences, I think that's a joke. It's just absolutely laughable. That's my view.
With you, not that domain, and it's not something that they would be really concerned about. And you raised this issue. I would like to flag it for you. Some time ago, there was this movie called Talash, in which Amir Khan and his wife Kiran did it. There was a girl we put worked at the movie. She was murdered. She was daughter of a totally murdered a person in Bombay, in a posh upper the society area. There was a guy called Sajad who raped her. We heard Kiran Rao, she's very insecure because got killed, which is right. It shouldn't happen in our country. But definitely to say that I'm insecure in this country because somebody in very far away Meerut or somewhere got killed because of some issue, I think, there is a kind of a if you go back to America in the just the World War, there was this McCarthyism. I call each in interrogate people. Would actually promote communism was a definite threat for them. There was a threat to the country, and you would understand that the kind of a thing that went to purge those people who are deep rooted with an ideology which is anti-democratic, and that's exactly what our country has always stood for. Like, I love my country and I'm ready to die. I've taken 4 bullets in my chest, not because I hated the people whom I fought against, because I love what my country stands for. I'm proud of the many freedoms and our cultural heritage, our civilizational values, and that makes us. I can't be a poor imitation of Americans or a wannabe. Like, I can't be I don't belong to like or something. Where you see it is to uphold the freedom and liberties of those people in Bangladesh. They were fellow Muslims, Pakistanis in East Pakistan who were looked down upon by this Pakistani nation, Western Pakistanis who thought that they were of no consequence and they could starve, they could be killed, and they were purged. Okay. So when my country went and liberated, when the whole of America, the liberal democracy like Henry Kissinger and Nixon had actually moved the 7th Fleet, and that's what my country did, and that's the army that is actually in 1947-48 the British helped Pakistan, newly born country, to invade Kashmir and take over because they had a Cold War agenda, which was to have a foothold in the great game, to have a foothold in that region.
Let me go to Richa Chadha. Let me bring it back to Richa Chadha and the current controversy. Ratan Sharda, she seems to be a bit of a serial offender because she was trolled recently after she tweeted the ban on Indian wheat exports. She was trolled again after she promoted a very fancy Mangalsutra brand. She supported the anti-hijab protests in Karnataka. She defended those celebrating the failure of Ronaldo movie. It's not like Richa Chadha is a stranger to controversy. She has oftentimes in the past, either she has created the controversy or she has benefited from the controversy.
Well, Zakka, if you remember in the first part of my argument, I clearly said this is a compulsive malaise. So she will keep on behaving this way because that is how she has brought up on the left front from the book that comes from this kind of thinking where you are irreverent about everything. You will support anything which is against the current trend or against the current traditions, our own culture. So I have that's why I said repeat offender. It's a regular inherent that becomes a part of a personality once you get into new left thinking. And once you become woke, and to prove your intelligence, you keep on going against every strand of thought. That is what makes Bharat. Now, coming to Indian Army, I would like to remind people that Indian Army has the largest contingent in the world for peacekeeping. Our Jawans have lost their lives to the world peace. Our army has faced the most belligerent neighbors for last 75 years, and except 60 to 7 every war, they have created a new nation. And for this 25/6 pressure on them, they don't know from where if we behave this way to protect our land. The inherent hate against this organization is the basic term from which this thought comes, and what has to be changed by criticizing Richa Chadha or somebody else is not the solution. Solution lies in getting that brainwash clear, de-radicalize them and bring them back to sense.
I'll finally go to Ravi Raj. Back to the point that you were making, the large point, large Bollywood, just because it's going to be sort of the little cocoons, cannot take people of this country for granted. If you say something that is insulting to the army, you will get trolled. If you say something stupid, you will get trolled. You are a public figure. A certain amount of basic intellect is expected from you. A certain amount of basic sensitivities in this country is expected from you. So you cannot just say whatever you please in the public domain and then retreat back saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, my account got hacked," or that's not what I meant, or it got misconstrued.
My nana was in the army. I mean, you can't do that. I can't be abusing teachers of India and saying, "Oh, my mother was a teacher and my father was a teacher."
Exactly.
No, but like Zaka, I said, it is nothing very shocking. I mean, like I said, it is a breed. It is a breed of people that we've seen post 2014 who doubt the Balakot strikes also. They are not even ashamed of watching Imran Khan in the parliament saying कि अगली बार ये लोग बालाकोट से भी बुरा कर देंगे. It's right there. I mean, this breed comes up saying कि Imran Khan should be given a Nobel Prize because he returned Abhinandan back. But he doesn't know कि on the YouTube in the parliament there was somebody saying his legs were shaking. कि वापस नहीं किया मोदी 24 घंटे में strike. So I personally feel this breed, we have to take this breed as they are. I mean, it is nothing shocking. They'll go on like this. They will go on. And these two, if you compare Zaka, I mean, if you compare the Pakistani tweets to their tweets, they are so similar. Okay. I mean, what do you say about a very well-established actor who's propelling people to come to the anti-CAA protest? And when you reach the anti-CAA protest and you ask him, what is CAA all about? And he says, this is not a man that they're carrying since a long time. Like I say, Zaka, hate Modi, but don't hate India, don't hate the Indian army. You can change, let another prime minister come, but we are very, very emotional about our country, about our army,
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Ravi Rai, Nasir Abdullah, Colonel Pillai and Ratan Shah, thanks for joining us with that first debate here on Brass. Yes, like I said, she apologized, she's to the tweet, but like I said, it's not so much the fact that you can be critical of a government, of a politician, of a prime minister, you can be critical even of the army. To bring in dead soldiers in a mocking way, I think that is unacceptable, and Richa Chadha should realize that is absolutely unacceptable in our civil discourse. Meanwhile, let's shift focus from India to across the border in Pakistan, where the country's got a new army chief, Lieutenant General Asim Munir, who's been appointed. He will take charge from General Qamar Bajwa this month. This is a massive setback for Imran Khan, the former Prime Minister. Remember, Mr. Khan had moved General Munir within a few days of him being appointed. Khan had exposed corruption by Imran Khan's immediate family members, and in return, he was ousted from the post of ISI chief. The big question now is, will the appointment of Lieutenant General Munir be acceptable to all political parties in Pakistan? What may this mean for elections, which are due anytime in the next few months? and most importantly, a former ISI chief, his appointment as Chief of Army Staff, arguably most important. What does it mean in India? All right, so Asim Munir was the senior most general. There were 6 front runners to try and replace General Qamar Bajwa. He, of course, retires next week, this month. Now, what's interesting about Asim Munir is that he was DGISI, he was fired by the then Minister Imran Khan. More importantly, Asim Munir does not come from the elite Pakistan military academy. He comes from one of the feeder schools. Also, very few in the last 20 years, the only name that I can think of was General Kayani, who was also DGISI before he became the Chief of Army Staff. Political appointee, absolutely, no doubt about it. Also in terms of seniority, yes, he was the senior most, but he retires technically 2 days before there will be some kind of bureaucratic maneuvering, if you will, to get General Munir to be the COAS for the next 2 years. Let me go across left to Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, former DG Infantry, is joining us. We have G. Parth Sarthi, former diplomat, also joining us. General Kulkarni, first, a former ISI chief who's had a fraught relationship with the former minister. Where Shahbaz saying this is our man and we're going to put in the top job in the country.
If you ask me, it just fits into whichever narrative they want to put it. And he's also been a brigadier under the President General Bajwa when he was the FA commander and then co-commander. He also went to Gujarat defensive operations. He was GMI and DGISI. DGISI fell apart from Imran Khan because he brought out all the corruption charges against his wife, and therefore he moved from there. He was also in terrorism, so he knows all about terrorism. Pakistan will continue to do terrorism as he knows Taliban and Pakistan. And he has Bajwa's support. Should Imran Khan, with whatever support he has, win elections, he will be a check on him. Should he not win elections, in any case, it's the army's way. So it's a win-win situation. And for whatever matter it may be, sword honor, OTS, it takes back everything. He just fits in. There's no denying the fact. And more than anything else, once he becomes the chief of the army staff, Pakistan controls be it nuclear, be it foreign relations, be it relations or be it relations with China. Fit in, and you can see the tremendous excitement that is there in Pakistan for appointment of the chief of army staff, because historically, the amount of influence that this appointment has, and more than anything else, for half of the time of Pakistan's existence, it has always been the Pakistan Army.
But tell me, General, what has happened over the last few months since the ouster of Imran Khan, the new government coming in, and if you look at the comments that General Bajwa made when he visited the US and the comments that he's been making over the last couple of months before his eventual demission from office, he has been trying to recalibrate Pakistan's external relations. You have the ceasefire going with India. For whatever it's worth, it's held pretty okay for the last year plus now. Then you have this sort of recalibration, trying to sort of normalize ties with the United States, trying to lessen the dependence, if you will, on China. Do you see the same trajectory continuing under General Munir, or will that change again?
No, nothing will change. Nothing will change, because he's Bajwa's appointee. He's Bajwa's man. Exactly, that is what Bajwa went to the United States with that thing in premise, the concurrence of the United States to ensure that whatever the US wants in Pakistan would be carried out by the Chief of the Army Staff. So it is Munir who will carry out exactly, and there is no denying the fact that everything, ceasefire, yes, what you are saying will hold, the interference to terrorism will continue, no denying the fact. Well, escalation may not be much, primarily because of the economic problems that there are in Pakistan. And that is the reason why Pakistan cannot do much. And more than anything, the Pakistan Chief of the Army Staff has a remote control. Whoever be the Prime Minister, it doesn't really matter who even the President 2 days before the meeting will be held, the 19 for the Lieutenant General, that assurance that the amendment will ensure that he becomes the chief the day Bajwa retires on the 29th of November.
Okay.
So everything is in place, and all of it is because Bajwa wants what it is. Bajwa has seen it with Imran Khan. Imran Khan has seen it with Bajwa. Well, Imran Khan has a sizable amount of a backup in Pakistan,
Of course.
but that backup makes no difference because they have their own man as the chief of the army staff.
Let me ask G. Parsarthi, former High Commissioner of Pakistan. He'll be joining us in just as we are trying to fix your line. I think the most critical question is going to be this. If this current dispensation, by some hook or crook, if you will, is able to win the elections again next year, then, of course, all is well. There is no discordant note between the army chief and the political dispensation. But if Imran Khan were to win the election next year, then how may that change? Do we have Parsarthi on the line? Yeah, Mr. Parsarthi, I was going to ask you this. Clearly, given the very factitious sort of Imran Khan and Munir, if Imran Khan were to be voted back to power, how may the civil-military ties, or at least ties between GHQ and the Prime Minister's residence, change?
Look, I don't think the Prime Minister's relations with General Asim Munir are indeed bad. After all, he was sacked as DGISI by Imran. It was a decision forced on Bajwa. He was given a good posting and he rose. But there are a number of issues now involved. He will function very well with General Bajwa. After all, it is General Bajwa who sent his name to the president.
Yeah.
The question, therefore, is that there are going to be other issues. As far as the DGISI is concerned, fine. Even the other other person who has been admitted who's been made Chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff, is fine. Don't forget that when Munir was thrown out, Faiz Hamid was appointed.
Yeah.
Now Faiz Hamid is out of the running. Therefore, the top line now is with Bajwa. And by the time Faiz Hamid comes up, he will be out. So till next elections, there are no problems as far as handling the ISI and the army are concerned. Because let us not forget that Asim Munir was forced out of the office of DGISI by none less than Imran Khan.
Yeah.
To admit Faiz Hamid, who's 5 numbers down the line below him. So I don't expect any problem from the ISI now. Mm-hmm. It's pretty well done because Faiz Asim Munir is also in many ways grateful to Bajwa for having nominated.
Okay. Mona Alam is also joining us. A person who was formerly head of both military intelligence and head of the inter-services intelligence. I can't think of any other previous army chiefs in Pakistan who were also DGIs. I think General Kayani was. He was the last, in the last 3 chiefs, General Sharif, General Bajwa, and now, of course, General Munir. None of them, General Munir, of course, being the exception. It again puts paid to the criticism, particularly from Imran Khan, that here is a man who has headed intelligence. The ISI has always interfered in the domestic politics of Pakistan, and therefore you're giving Imran Khan a handle once again to tell his people and tell his supporters that, look, what I've been telling you has come true.
Look, actually, Pakistan is undergoing a turmoil, I'd say, both politically, socially, and also I'd say morally, because the kind of divisiveness that there is in politics here, it actually has no parallels in recent times. And having said that, the army chief is, I think, the primary bone of contention in the matter. You are right that Imran Khan may, just cause a lot of havoc. But and I initially thought so too. But the way his party's member, who happens to be also the president of the RFLV, has forwarded the summary without any delay, whereas constitutionally he did it with him for another days, and he could have at least shown a displeasure by his party or a sign of displeasure, because he rushed to Imran Khan in Lahore as soon as the summary was forwarded by the Prime Minister to him. And we thought that, it's going to create another tussle between the two. And since Imran Khan is also landing in Islamabad tomorrow for his long march, so we thought it's going to be another show of strength between the two, and it's going to be another quagmire that we are getting into. But none of that happened at all.
So what then is the story, Mona, what then is the story behind the scenes? What is the deal that's been worked out between the government and Imran Khan? Because, like you said, he's given his go-ahead. He has accepted Asim Munir's nomination as the next army chief. What then? And given the history, given the deep history between both men, why did he agree? What's the deal that's been cut?
That's exactly what at least these are exactly the hints that we're taking here in the capital. I mean, there must have been something, and there is definitely something more to it, and we really need to look into this between the lines, because apparently Imran Khan or his party is vouching for this, that okay, they haven't really created a controversy out of an important appointment that looks after the security matters and national security matters of this country. This is just for the consumption of their audience. But obviously, when we dig in further and we see between the lines, there does seemingly indicate a deal that may have struck between the two.
So
and
let me ask Kulkarni, one of the concerns here is that as he concludes Islamabad, and then I think in Rawalpindi, if there were to be violence, would the kind that we saw when he was shot at a few weeks ago, would that be straight away a blot on the incoming army chief, and would Imran Khan use that as an excuse to turn around and say, look, I told you so?
Are you asking?
Yeah, yes, General Kulkarni, yeah.
Yeah, see what happens right now. Imran succeeds and he becomes, his intention would be to hold elections. Should the elections be there next year and Imran becomes the prime minister, assume he's become the prime minister, even the opposition party will be extremely happy to have a check in controlling him by having a chief of army staff who they have, sort of put the signatures to. So that helps the opposition. Now, should he fail, in any case, not being able to come back as the prime minister, in that context also you find that it's a win-win situation. And even in the army hierarchy today, it's so much better that the senior-most person who is appointed as the chief of the army staff. So it's an absolute win-win situation in which Imran Khan cannot object to. Because even though Imran Khan said that, President Army will consult me just because he happens to be from Tehreek-e-Taliban, the Tehreek party of Pakistan, that doesn't mean even if he does so, look, at this point of time, the selection or the nomination of Asim as the chief of the army staff, nobody can dispute. Neither the military hierarchy, there'll be any ruffling feathers there, neither in the political field. And it's a win-win situation for the for Sharif's party.
Parsati, I'll give you the final word. By sticking to the book, which is the senior-most general has been appointed as chief of army staff, have the Sharifs avoided yet another political confrontation? Have they decided to sort of, as Mona says, cut a deal with Imran Khan on the appointment of the senior-most general, and thereby perhaps even setting a template for the future?
No, for them it was not a deal. Asim Munir was their man.
Yes, correct.
So the fact of the matter is, let's face it, that Pakistan is in dire economic straits. Secondly, the point is that Bajwa has struck too many close deals with the Americans. In fact, it included providing them with Pakistani military supplies for Ukraine. And the Americans have also been quietly wanting to get rid of Imran. And in fact, it is believed that the ISI worked out a majority for Imran to go. And the Americans make no secret of their dislike for Imran. So if you see Imran's continuous pleadings, it's to the Americans. And my reading is that if the present government even goes to an election a year from now, they are not going to solve the problems. And believe me, my reading again and for a long time is there's been growing anti-Americanism in Pakistan.
Yeah, of course.
They feel that they're moving too hard. I don't know what I suppose the Chinese are adding some mist to the masala. But this is a fact. And you can take it unless these people deliver something great or something bad, something happens to Imran Khan, like being jailed for something.
All right, we'll see how the story plays out. But like I said, I think the fact that this is General Bajwa's man and the trajectory that he outlined over the last few weeks leading up to his retirement, I think that trajectory will continue certainly for the next year till the country goes to polls. And then what happens, well, we'll see. It's anybody's guess right now. Break. When we come back, politics, it's Galwan versus Patriot. Bharat Jodo Yatra enters the state of Rajasthan. It's once again no holds barred between the Rajasthan Chief Minister and his one-time deputy.
Into we have offended or hurt anyone,